Well, as you mentioned before the show, how many weeks and counting is it now without Hogan? 140?
I should actually get
something
so it was it was mid-July that he flew the coop on us, I believe. So
well, I think that he was driven from the coop. In fairness,
however you want to say it.
yeah.
So, being that it's mid-May right now, that would give us about 8 weeks and 52 weeks in a year. So 104 minus 8 gives us about 96 weeks. So it's like week 96 without Hulk Hogan, I would say.
Wow.
96 weeks without Hulk Hogan.
Must be killing you.
And and people think I'm joking when I say Hulk Hogan equals ratings, but let me ask everybody a question who's listening to the show. If during the women's 6-man tag or 6-woman tag on SmackDown, on Backlash coming up this weekend, if Hogan came out and dropped the leg on any one of those women, would you not tune into SmackDown on Tuesday to see why this is happening?
Gotta admit that I would. So
it'd be great, too, if they did it like one of the girls gets injured and towards the end of the match, Hogan comes out and they do like, it's the third man. It's like, whose side is he on?
Hogan's part of the welcoming committee?
Yes.
Imagine if Hogan came out and dropped a leg on Ellsworth.
That would be interesting. I mean, it would be kind of disappointing. I think him dropping the leg on like Becky Lynch would get more ratings. And
yeah, because she's a woman.
Yeah.
But
plus he turns heel because she's a babyface, and then they could make, instead of it being the welcome committee, it could be the new welcoming committee. It could just be the NWO logo, but they just like black out the end of the L, so it's NWC.
I love how we're booking Hogan's return.
Where he beats up women.
So he goes from having to leave the company because of racial slurs he used against black people to coming back and beating up women.
Did you ever see the meme of Pepe Le Pew? Where it's like, I don't know, if they do it like in the style of The Most Interesting Man, and he says, I don't always rape cats, but when I do, it's for the entertainment of children.
I think I have seen that, actually, yeah.
Well, anyway, that's Hulk Hogan coming back to the company to join the new welcoming committee. But speaking of that, are one of the babyface women turning heel in this equation?
I mean, if there was going to be any one of them, it would have to be Becky Lynch.
That's what I think. Although
it can't be Naomi. She's in the kind of beginning of a face run championship,
right? And
Charlotte kind of already is that, so her turning heel really isn't turning heel,
right? It would just be turning back heel, which would make no sense. And
make no sense at all.
The thing is, though, Becky Lynch is so beloved that her turning heel would be stabbing the fans in the heart in a bad way.
Really? How so? I don't think that would be I think that at some point she's going to be turning heel, and it's going to be great.
I mean, maybe I guess they have to because they've done almost all they could do with her as a babyface at this point.
Right.
I guess that is the only way to go. It just feels like it can't just progress where these three wrestle these three, and then we're done and we move on.
Right. I mean, I hope that this 6-women tag match is kind of the end of that story, even though it just kind of got started.
Yeah.
Because you can really only do so much with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how long? Like, it's literally the entire division, all 6 women.
Right.
Like, you can't really keep them into 2 separate factions against each other for that long, especially when there's really no meat to the factions other than, like, the heels just don't like Charlotte here. They're literally the welcoming committee.
Right.
So I think turning Becky heel would be a really great move.